Every day is upside down day in Sonji land. Hi and welcome to the Sonji Land show where everybody's upside down. And I'm here with Elaine Briant, who is super inspiring to me. Elaine, I think your style is so unique and so fluent. And there's like a certain quality to how you not just hand balance, but move in general, like with acrobatic elements and combining all that with hand balance and also combining it with juggling elements and the playfulness you bring. So welcome. Just a short word. Elaine graduated in 2020 from the Circus School Dock in Sweden, which it's not called Dock anymore, right?
Yeah, now it's called SKH, Stockholm Konstnärliga Högskolan. But I was still, when I was in it, it was still called Dock. Yeah.
And you're working with a company called Gira right now?
Yeah, in Sweden.
And what do you do with them?
So I have two shows performing. There's one targeting really children between 4 and 8 years old. It's a short show I perform with my boyfriend, and it's a really good show. I love performing it. And then after a year, we did a new creation that is a bit more of a big show and let's say a normal public performance show. It's 1 hour, and we are 4 on stage. And this is more targeting teenagers or just families, public performances. It's an amazing show. I really love to perform them.
It sounds really cool. Is your boyfriend Ben the juggler?
Yes.
I thought so. I just see him over your Instagram, so I assume.
Ben Juggler.
Ben Juggler. And you also have a duo, right? Bulldogs duo.
I have 2 duos actually.
Oh, with Joe also.
Exactly.
So actually, go ahead.
Yeah, the Bulldogs duo exists from a longer time. It's with Tony, Antonio Panaro. And this we were in Dock or SKH together, and then slowly we started working together and then discovering material, and we got very excited by this. But then when we graduated, I don't know, it was COVID and it was really hard to start with this, so we both went our ways. Now he's working with an Italian company and I'm in Sweden, so for now it's not there yet, but we have an act and we really want to perform it. It's just it hasn't got to the good occasion for now. And yeah, we would have had perform in MAD in Antwerp, but that got cancelled because of COVID regulations in Belgium. And so that's a project on canes, and it's very handstand related, how to share a space when we are 2 in handstand. And our really starting idea for this research with Tony was that we don't see much handstand groups or duos, and when we see some, it's rare that they are both in handstand. It's often that one is standing on someone doing a handstand, but just like a potato bag, or I don't know, so it's not two handstands. So that's really our starting point, and then it got us to many really interesting places. So that was really cool. And then the Joey's project, so she has all this amazing block research material with the round blocks. And we just knew a bit each other from seeing a bit each other in life and on internet. And then we discussed and we thought it was cool because it was manipulations, but you can expand the range of possibilities if you're too manipulating. So we tried stuff. And that was really fun. And also I came up with this other shape, block shape that can turn around, and then this could also extend our research. So
what kind of shape is that?
Wait, I have it So that's a regular block, round block, and then that's the shape. So it has a little angle here. So when you flip it on the side and roll it, it comes back to the same place.
Ah, super cool.
Yeah.
So when are you going to get back together with Joe to work on that?
We are planning on some residency in April, and it's very hard to get the schedules fitting together because she has projects I have. We're not in the same country, blah blah blah. So it's a bit hard to match calendars, but yeah, as soon as possible.
Can I ask you how it works with funding? How do you fund the pieces that you create and you know, all the projects that you come up with?
We basically don't have funding.
So you just do it on your own.
Yeah, exactly. For example, with Tony, we had a residency in Espace Catastrophe that is now called Up Performing Circus Art or something like this. It's in Brussels, and they just offer residencies. So you apply for it, and if you get it, then you just get a space. So you don't get paid, but you get space for free. You can get hosted, and yeah. So it was just for us to cover the Canes set and travels, but next to that, it's okay. I would say.
I saw that the cane set is pretty big, the one that you use with Bulldogs Duo.
Yeah, yeah, we haven't figured out how to travel easily with those, but
I bet.
it's 7 canes and 3 big plates, so yeah.
Was it
But that was
custom
also
made?
yes, I did design the shape so it would fit, like we discussed much time. It took us very much time with Tony to figure it out that it would fit every need we had, and since it's so precise and so how to say it, it's only us that can do the figures on those canes because it's very centimeter precise for our sizes and our one arm placements. I don't know. So yeah, we spend much time measuring and also finding the shape that I don't know how to explain. There's first a clump in our act, there's a clump of canes, and then we open the bases, and then it's a big line of canes. So that was the challenge of making a basis shape that could fit those two different sets, basically. And then it's all the measurements they have. It's quite funny because when it's very geometrical, but when you see it from close, it's actually always a bit off center, and I don't know, it's always a bit stupid, but it's really precise for our needs. So, yeah,
That's so interesting. It sounds like a lot of experimenting you have to do in order to get the apparatus right. So how do you go about that? Like, do you just make assumptions when you design it and then check back and forth with the person who produces it, or how does it work?
No, we cannot come back to the person that produced. So once we give it, we need to be super 100% sure. First, I thought of this shape on our Instagram page. There are drawings, I think, of the.
I saw that, yeah.
So we first came up with this, and we thought, okay, this can fit every ID we have. So we kept this one, and then we did, like, with big paper sheets, we did draw like where this should be, and then we tried it on the floor, like, roughly, and we thought, okay, it's gonna work. So, and then we created the set, and then we make it work because that's the set and that's what we have. So, yeah.
Wow. You know, I'm kind of fascinated by you coming up with your ideas and acts and props and everything. It's very entrepreneurial. And then how does it continue? Do you have to sell that act to a company, or like, how do you get it to present to somebody?
Yeah, either you apply to a company, and then the company can buy the act or the duo. Like we are up for just doing a creation and using the material, but not the act itself. Or then they buy an act, and then it's more like a cabaret, act by act show. Or
Mhm.
you go, or you sell the act itself to festivals or whatever. But this, you contact them or they contact you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you must be good at like all the parts of basically having a business, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what we are lacking a bit for now, I would say. Um, or I mean, I think we could do a better job at selling it. So now I'm enjoying this time of quarantine to do that. Actually, I'm researching a lot of email addresses, blah blah blah. But it's very hard to get engaged in those times because if a show exists and get cancelled, then the company will not look for new artists. They will try to make the show happen, but not engage new people. So it's a bit hard
Right.
as new people to just jump in for now. So we also understand this and we are patient. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's really such a tough time,
yeah.
especially since you graduated. Was it right during the first lockdown?
Yeah.
So, how did you present your act, or did you do it at all?
No, we graduated separately with Tony. So we both had our own act solo. And then the Bulldogs was still a side project. So also then we got jobs separately. Um, so that's how it is now, but we would like to meet again.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking about because I think I saw on your Instagram that the graduation act that you had prepared, you couldn't perform it in person.
Yeah, no. It was on a video. It was on
Hmm.
it was on YouTube for a week or something like that. The whole class video.
Hmm.
And then I got to work in something else, so actually this act hasn't performed neither for
Yeah.
events or for whatever gigs. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I certainly hope that this time passes quickly and that we can move on.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's been like this for almost 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
3 years? I get so confused with the time now.
I would say two, but it's way too
Yeah.
long. Mm.
Well, but tell us about how you got into hand balancing and what was your physical background and how did you get into circus school and decide to do this?
Yeah. Actually, I got to circus very late. Um, so I did a bit of gymnastics when I was 5. From 5 to 10, I did gymnastics, but on a like quite normal level, not high. I don't know. When I say this to circus people, they're like, "Oh, you did gymnastics, so you're so good." And I'm really like, "No, I was just normal gymnastics." I don't know. And then it started to be too hard and too many hours per week. I was 10, and they wanted me to do 12 hours a week, and my parents were like, "No, Elaine, don't just do this from your life," because I was also doing music, piano, I don't know, other stuff. So I stopped. Also, I got super afraid of balance beam. Like I was crying every lesson. So
What?
okay, let's do this. Yeah, I had
You
to do
had
cartwheel. And impossible.
that's hard to
Impossible.
believe because your body moves in every direction now.
Yeah. So now every time I meet a balance beam, I just do a cartwheel on it and I do a big like fuck to my childhood.
That's so awesome. But wait, so
So that was
you only did gymnastics as a hobby until you were 10? That's it?
I can't remember. I did quite some.
But like I mean just physically it looks like you were born doing this.
The day I stopped, then I started ballet, basically. That was like the for me, it was super logical. If you don't do gymnastics, then you can go to ballet. So I started ballet. And then this I did many years. And then it got me into contemporary dance until I was 18 or 19. So after high school, I was like, okay, maybe I do dance. And then I did auditions and nothing worked because I don't know. I had teachers that were very floor based and acrobatic based, and this I really enjoyed since I had this gymnastic background. But then when I came up to auditions, it was like complete different things on standing, and I was so bad and not liking it. And then none of the auditions worked. And one of my dance teacher, he said, "Hey, there's this school, circus school in Lille. You should just apply and see." So I just applied, and it was really good. I felt home directly. For some reason, yeah, I don't know. It was just more my mindset. Not like, I don't know, dance is a special field and circus is another mentality. So that was way better for me. Yeah, I really felt home, and that was my thing. And in this school, they have 4 disciplines. They have hand-to-hand, handstand, Chinese pole, and juggling. And I could stand on my hands, and it just became like I was in. And
Was
I
that
just started doing
which school was that?
Cracovlom in Lille, in France.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it started, and then I got way more success in circus school auditions than dance school auditions. So I just continued. It was more my thing, and then that's it.
I find that so interesting that you say the mentality is different in dance and circus. I was also dancing years ago.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. What is the big difference for you? I'm curious.
But first of all, there's way less people.
Yeah.
And then it's also in dance. I have a hard time describing dance because maybe I haven't dived enough into it. But I would say it's the group. Dance is the group, and circus is the individual, basically. Because like in one circus class, there's one person per discipline or 2. But you're not a class of 30 people doing the same.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has its own discipline, and in its own discipline, it has its own style. So it's like, yeah, it's very individual, and then what you do is very unique, and you're not hundreds of thousands doing this and graduating each year. I don't know. I feel it's way more based like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then because it's individual, then we accept who you are and physically and your style and whatever. While in dance, it's like, I don't know, you have to be so. And it's way more strict. I would say it's less fun. But then I don't want to be mean on dance. It's just not my thing.
I totally understand what you mean. Yeah. It's like you have more space to express yourself and unfold your own creative spirit in circus.
They do it differently in dance, and I haven't got to that point. I stopped before, so I don't know. It's hard for me to talk about this. I know circus. And yeah.
Cool. So when you were in France, how did you then decide to move on to doc?
I first got into Fratellini in Paris. So I did 2 prep years, basically. The Lille school, I did it in prep. So only for 1 year. And then I did the prep of Fratellini for 1 year again. And when it was time for auditions in doc around April, I don't know, there were some videos released. I think it was Imogen. You know Imogen?
Yeah, I love Imogen. I hate that she doesn't post much on social media because I would love to see more of her.
But yeah. I don't know, a video went out and some handbalancers from Fellini showed it to me. I was like, oh, but this is genius, blah, blah, blah. And also a friend showed me videos of Andreas de Rijk, this teeterboard guy that also does much handstand.
I don't know
And that
him.
was like a new world for me. And then it's just because I didn't know the school doc at all. I had never heard of it. I just had friends that would apply, so I was like, okay, I also apply, and then got in, and I really loved it. It was really my dream school.
So cool.
So yeah, I think it's Imogen that got a big responsibility part, and she doesn't know this, but yeah.
Yeah, she's very unique as well.
Mm, yeah,
I hope that I can get her for an interview someday.
she's really nice. I'm sure she will be up for it.
So how did you choose hand balance and why?
It That's what I said earlier. It just came up that there was those 4 disciplines in the school I went in, and then it was just the most obvious for me at that moment, and then I just stick to it.
Have you ever regretted that, or would you have liked to learn something else too?
Yeah, that's the thing in circus. It's okay if you're like, there's a lot of multidisciplinary, I don't know, occasions. So then I also fly, I also do acro, and I'm really happy with this. That handstand is my discipline. That's my own thing. I am professional at this, let's say, and then I do also other things. It feels really good to me.
What does your training look like on a daily basis?
Yeah. So I try now. I found a system that works quite good for me. So I always do my basics. Okay, I first start by warming up with stretching. That's like normal always. And then I do my basics on the floor because I hate floor. It's so hard for me. So I force myself to still do all the warm-up things on the floor. And then I see how it feels today and what is gonna be nice to work on today. Maybe it's some super heavy one arms. Maybe it's just some back flexibility work. Maybe it's create a new pattern with blocks. Maybe it's, I don't know. I just go instinct and what is gonna be nice today, because it can be so frustrating with handstands that you have a really bad day and then it just doesn't work. So I'm like, I try not to get too frustrated. If it doesn't work, it's gonna work tomorrow, and then that's okay for today. So I really try to find what's gonna work today. Sometimes I find, sometimes I don't, but that's how I keep the fun and interest also, because it's very, then at the end of the day I'm like, oh, I didn't expect to do this today actually. So it's like a research. It's really, I really like it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great approach. Like a more well, I was going to say creative approach, but it gives you freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
To explore rather than getting a stiff mindset and
You know, I saw this video on the internet, I want to try, or I got this idea this night, I want to try, and maybe it doesn't work, but it leads you to something else, and yeah.
Do you get a lot of inspiration from the internet like that, from watching other people?
Yeah, quite some. I feel also sometimes it's very hard. I don't know. For example, Joey and her blocks, I really dived into that world because we said we would work together. But otherwise, I would never, because it's too specific to her, all those block research. So I would never, it's too deep. I cannot dive that deep directly. So if inspired, it's more like an idea, just a shape or a hand placement or whatever. There's also this, it's like Imogen. I cannot dive into what she does like this. It's too much of her own world. Or there's this Amy Patching.
Oh, Amy
She
Pat,
did.
oh, I love her too, from Australia.
I think she does really nice stuff, but you know, it's only on the floor, and I really enjoy what she does, but I will not apply it directly to myself. I think it makes no sense. It's her thing, and yeah, I leave it to her basically.
Yeah, but that's super interesting because it seems like then you collect a lot of like you get a big repertoire.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, are you trying to shape your own creative identity still? Are you in the process of that, or how do you see the creative identity in general for yourself? Do you have
Yeah,
one?
I guess I don't try to think of it. I just come up with my own things, and I don't try to fit any style, or I don't know. Yeah, I try to open this, otherwise it's not so creative at the end. Like, you see what I mean or not?
Yes,
Not to put too
absolutely.
categories and
Yeah, you just do whatever feels good for the
yes,
moment.
yes, exactly.
I love that so much. And I think that I don't see that very often in hand balance specifically. Like most of the hand balancers I've met so far are very straight minded, like very
Yeah,
linear.
yeah, I know. But I think I'm quite nerdy in a way. Like, many hand balancers are nerdy, and a
Mhm.
lot of them are nerdy in technique. I am very interested in technique, but I'm more nerdy in a way that I like every different kind of input handstand can have from any different fields. Like you said, dance, or I don't know, I really like to craft or whatever. Everything, like juggling, can also jump into handstand. Everything else that can give an input, I really like, and then I get interested. So that's my nerdy. That's my way of being nerdy in handstand. Yeah.
I love that.
Hmm.
Do you teach also?
Yeah, I teach a bit. I do a bit of private classes, not online. This I haven't tried, and I feel a bit. I don't know. I doubt the usefulness, how useful it can be, because it's very much of a feeling of spotting and of seeing, explaining in real life, and I
Mhm.
don't know, giving impulses. So I doubt the online version. Maybe I should just try it. So for now, I just teach live, like physical,
Mhm.
and I have some private classes, and then I was also in this handstand extravaganza in Sicily. That was really fun.
I
First
saw
experience
that.
with many people. Oh la la la! That I had to teach many people at the time, but it was really a good experience. Really fun. Amazing convention, really.
Yeah, if it's gonna happen again this summer, I really want to go. I saw that you taught with Joe together. Is that right?
Yeah, but there were five, a bit more teachers, and then we did one workshop together. So how it works is that there are a bunch of teachers, and each day, twice a day, they have a workshop with a theme. So maybe it's a one-arm workshop, maybe it's there was a seaweed wavy legs workshop, there was a block workshop, there was a, I don't know, press workshop. So each time there's a theme, very specific, and so each teacher propose their own theme for today, and then the people choose where they want to go. So there's also different levels that are proposed each time, and then that's how it goes. So you have, yeah, many different options, and one of our theme was this duo with Joey.
So cool. I really hope it happens again. Would you go back again if it was this summer?
uh I don't know if he invites me again, but I would love to.
And
I think
also,
we can just visit again. I think so.
well, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yes.
I would love it. But yeah, right now you're in quarantine. um, how do you feel right now being in quarantine? You're positive, but you don't have any symptoms. Is that right?
I had symptoms, but only for one day that I felt really shit. But now it's all good. I just have like a rest of a flu, and that's really okay. Um, I have an okay space. I'm really doing okay, and for now I don't have much problem staying on my own and doing my own things. I'm interested in many things, so I have time to draw and do a lot of. I just did a headband yesterday.
You made that yourself.
Yeah,
That's
knitting.
beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm keeping myself busy. I will be happy to go back to social life, but I mean it's okay. It's really okay. 10 days it's also not lifelong. So
Do you feel like you have enough energy to spend the time training a lot? Or is that on your agenda?
yeah, it's on my agenda because yeah, about training, I think I don't train enough. That's the thing. I'm really chilled and cool and instinct based, but then it's also sometimes it could be more efficient or when you want to keep the level, there are things you have to do like physical prep, like just training regularly. At one point,
Mm-hmm.
the more gymnastic or sportive side of it, um, that you need to keep. So I try to push myself on that. And when I'm in Sweden, when we tour a show, it's very hard to keep a training going regularly. So I think I could be better at that. So now it's a good occasion to do that. But yeah.
What would you say you should ideally train? Like what would be the standard?
I don't know. What I noticed is that in school it was every day, and next to the classes of specialty, we had other classes that were physical. So we were just I was basically always exhausted. I was so tired the whole time.
Oh,
Um, but that's how you also get strong, I guess. Blah blah blah. But it's not. I would say it's not an efficient way to train. It's just the most you can put. Okay, you do 5 days
yeah.
a week, and then in 2 days you barely have the time to recover for the next Monday, and then on Wednesday you're completely out again. I don't know. So what I noticed after school, I mean, I still had really good time in school, but after school I had a really good time training every 2 days, every other day. So one training is not that much, but then you have one day to recover fully, and then you're always fresh because it's
Mm-hmm.
not, I don't know, one training is okay. Um, plus you recover from your one training. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. That was a really good um timing for me, but it's very personal. People are just addicted to training, and then if they spend 2 days without training, how am I gonna do? And I'm really not like.
I know. I admire that and I love it because I can resonate a lot with that. I felt similar. And well, I tend to put pressure on myself and like I see other people go super obsessive and train a lot and then I beat myself up about not
Yeah,
training.
yeah, yeah.
How is it for you?
I mean, I don't feel like this, so I just don't do it. For now, I have a system that works for me, this balance with not training too much, but training enough so I can still keep
Mhm.
doing what I want to do. And it's very important for me that I don't get or frustrated or too much pressured or whatever, because it's my job and I need to do this job. So I cannot go in a very bad mood for this. It's like this would kill my my job. So
I love
that's
that
why
attitude so much. Yeah.
yeah, I for now it works. Maybe at one point I will get to a crashing point because the level is not high enough anymore. I don't know. We'll see. This then I will adapt. We'll see.
Is there anything that you would still like to achieve physically, like something that is not in your repertoire that would require you to go harder?
Mm, I would definitely wanna be more solid. Um, just more solid in general. One arm based, and then it goes specifically to shows, because okay, it's also handstand. It's very hard to perform, and this is the same for every dancer. It's, I don't know, it's fucking shit, but um, yeah, just be more solid, especially for stage. This is my motivation to push myself to go very technique based on my training.
And what, in terms of where you want to go with your career as a hand balancer, do you have any idea, or how is that for you?
No, I don't have any plans. I just, for now, I have a bunch of different projects, and they are all very different. So this I'm very happy of, and I just take what comes and just adapt myself so I can enjoy it. Then it feels very good. Yeah, I'm really happy about this, because so now I have those 2 shows in Sweden, children and public shows. I have this duo with Tony. I have the duo with Joey that is very different, with blocks and manipulations. It's like a whole other discipline for me. Then I have a show in creation with my boyfriend and a piano, so it's also very different. And then I was supposed to replace in Vald from Right Way Down, this handstand collective. And that was also,
yeah,
exactly. That was also a really different I don't know, handstand experience. So it's very challenging, and I have much to do in all of those projects. It feels all of the projects are different disciplines to me, because it's just, I don't know, so different and so challenging, and I really enjoyed this.
and Vald is mainly on the floor, right?
No, they have quite some canes.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit of everything, but that's the thing, a mix of canes and floor is quite hard, and it's also 1 hour, it's so long, so you go on endurance, and I don't know, it's very, very different. Also in the group, it's different.
Elaine, I love you. You're so refreshing. And I thank you so much for taking the time for this conversation.
Yeah, it's really good. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more of you. And yeah, whenever you have shows or something to present, please make sure you put it on social media so that people know and I can watch you.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
No, I honestly think that it's like the people who I would love to see most of often aren't the ones who are as active or, on social media,
Yeah.
which is not specifically to you, but just in general. I feel in this artistic world, it's like, give me more of these people with the juice.
Usually it's very hard to keep on posting, for example, when you're in a show, because you have much things to do. If you have 3 days and you're training, then it's way easier, and that's probably why it's most of this that comes on Instagram, for example. It's very technical.
Yeah
I guess that's why it's
but in any case, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I hope that you get better soon. I hope you get rid of COVID and enjoy your quarantine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much for watching. Definitely check out Elaine. I'll put all her details down below. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. It's never too late to do what you love. I'll see you next Monday.